Let's flip the script right now. You were trained to be available, to answer fast, to soften your tone, to explain yourself, especially when no one asked. And somewhere along the line, you believed that being accessible was the same as being kind. But what if that version of you, the always smiling, over-explaining, overly reachable version, is the very reason people underestimate you? Here's the raw truth. When you're always within reach, you lose your edge. People read you, then they press, then they push. And when they see you flinch at every little shift in tone or energy, they know you're easy to bend. And when you're easy to bend, you're easy to break. You want to change that? Then it's time to become unreachable. Not emotionally frozen, not distant or cold, but strategically detached. Because the person who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't respond to every comment, who doesn't overshare, who doesn't explain every choice, that person owns the room without even speaking. This isn't about cutting people off. This is about closing the door to chaos. You don't owe the world full access to your emotions, your time, your thoughts. That kind of exposure has a cost, and most people don't have the currency to afford it. Now think about this. When was the last time being accessible gave you real peace? When did explaining yourself ever make them understand you better? When has constantly giving people access to your energy ever left you more powerful? Exactly. There's a quiet kind of dominance in not reacting, in being unreadable, in allowing mystery to speak louder than your mouth ever could. Some people walk into a room and demand attention. Others walk in, say nothing, and somehow pull the center of gravity toward themselves. That second person? They're unreachable, not because they're arrogant, because they've trained themselves to not leak energy. Let's be real. Most people live their entire lives handing out emotional access like it's a party favor. And then they wonder why they feel drained, overlooked, misunderstood. But here's what unreachable people understand. Every reaction is data. When you respond instantly to everything, you're telling the world exactly how to manipulate you. So stop being so easy to read. Not because you're hiding anything, but because not everyone deserves to know you like that. Not everyone has earned your response, your explanation, your emotional availability. And yes, silence makes people uncomfortable. That's the point. Because people crave control. And when they can't predict you, can't pull you into their games, can't get you to react, they start to question themselves. That's when the dynamic flips. That's when you're no longer the one dancing to someone else's rhythm. Let go of the need to explain. You don't have to justify why you left, why you said no, why you're taking your time. If they don't get it, they're not meant to. You weren't put on this planet to keep everyone comfortable. There's a brutal kind of freedom in realizing, I don't need to be understood to be at peace. Letting go of the impulse to respond isn't weakness, it's precision. Silence becomes your filter. It keeps the noise out. It keeps your focus locked in. And it sends a message louder than words. I choose where my energy goes. Now, here's the thing most people won't tell you. Being unreachable is lonely at first. Because when you stop reacting, when you start setting boundaries without performing them, when you stop filling the silence with explanations, people start to fall away. But those aren't losses. Those are clean breaks from the people who only loved the version of you they could control. This is the part that separates the surface-level strong from the truly untouchable. When someone disrespects you, you don't react. You recalibrate. When someone tries to bait you into a fight, you don't respond. You observe. When someone demands an answer you don't owe, you give them something more powerful. Nothing. Not because you're weak, but because you know how easily peace slips away when you trade your attention for crumbs of approval. Let's not get it twisted. This is not about being cold. It's about choosing what deserves warmth. Emotional self-control isn't about burying your feelings. It's about understanding that not every emotion deserves to be acted on, that not every conflict is worth the battle, that not every question deserves an answer. The more silent you become, the more powerful you feel, because your peace becomes sacred territory, off limits, guarded not by walls, but by standards. Ask yourself, how many times have you explained yourself to people who were never really listening? How often have you chased closure that only left you more open and exposed? What if you stopped chasing understanding and started choosing solitude? Not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. When you become unreachable, manipulation loses its teeth. Guilt trips fall flat. Passive aggression hits a brick wall, because there's no button to press if the button doesn't exist anymore. And the people who used to play games with your emotions, they won't know what to do when you stop playing. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to raise their voice to set a boundary. Your energy does the talking, and the ones who can't handle that silence were never strong enough to handle your truth. That's when you'll start to feel the shift. You'll stop explaining. You'll stop apologizing. You'll stop overgiving. And suddenly, the people around you will start treating you differently, because they can feel it. They can feel that you're not reacting out of fear or trying to fix their perception of you. You've outgrown that game. Now you respond from stillness, or not at all. Now, here's what happens next. The people who once thought they could push you, pull you, twist your emotions like a switch, they'll hesitate, not because you threatened them, but because you stopped flinching. They'll look for the old version of you, the one who used to over-explain, backpedal, chase closure, text back when you weren't ready. But that version doesn't live here anymore. You've upgraded the lock and thrown out the spare keys. And here's where things really shift. Your presence changes. The energy you carry starts speaking before you do. People will say they feel something different around you, even if they can't explain what it is. It's because they're not just seeing you. They're feeling the weight of someone who doesn't need to be seen to feel whole. You stop proving your worth, and people start respecting it. You stop reacting to nonsense, and nonsense stops showing up. You stop giving 24/7 access, and your time starts gaining value. There's a certain type of freedom that only comes from being misunderstood and not caring. That freedom is rare, and most people never find it because they're too busy trying to fix how others see them. But the truth is, the people meant to know you, truly know you, won't need paragraphs. They'll feel it in your silence. They'll respect what you don't say more than what you do. Now, let's bring it deeper. Every time you choose not to respond to disrespect, you reclaim authority over your own nervous system. Every time you choose stillness over explaining, you reinforce your inner foundation. Every time you walk away, instead of proving your point, you build a life where your peace is the loudest presence in the room. This is backed by research, too. Studies in emotional intelligence and neuroscience show that people with high self-regulation, those who can delay responses and resist impulsive reactions, are not only more respected, but also more effective in leadership, relationships, and decision-making. The calm isn't just powerful, it's practical. Because here's the reality. You cannot be a leader of your life if every emotional gust knocks you off balance. You cannot build peace if you allow every outside disturbance to walk in without knocking. You must become the gatekeeper of your energy, fiercely, unapologetically, quietly. And no, This doesn't mean you won't feel things. You will, but you'll stop letting those feelings decide who you become in the moment. You'll feel fully and still choose consciously. That's not repression. That's maturity. Because anyone can lash out. Anyone can explain their way into exhaustion. But it takes a higher self to sit with emotion, breathe through it, and move with purpose anyway. So the next time someone tries to pull a reaction from you, pause, take a beat, let the silence hold, and ask yourself, does this deserve my energy or just my awareness? Most things? They don't deserve either. And when you realize that, you'll notice something else. You start attracting people who respect your time, your presence, your boundaries. You stop entertaining those who only wanted access, not connection. You stop bending to be understood. You stand and let whoever gets it, get it. That's not ego. That's evolution. And here's the paradox. When you stop needing people to see your worth, they finally do. When you stop needing things to go your way, they often do. When you stop chasing energy that drains you, energy starts flowing toward you. Because the minute you become unreachable to chaos, you become magnetic to peace. So here's your moment of choice. Will you keep being available to everything and everyone just because they asked for you? Or will you become intentional about what gets access to your mind, your heart, your presence? That question isn't small. It defines your whole life. Because the moment you decide to stop explaining yourself to people who don't even understand themselves, you rise. You rise without a fight. You rise without shouting. You rise without warning. Just quiet strength, clear eyes, and a calm no one can shake. And if you're still here, really here, that means something inside you has already shifted. So drop this in the comments right now. I don't react to be seen. I move to be felt. Let's see who's really walking this path. And if this video hit a nerve, good. That means it touched the version of you that's tired of playing small for access and ready to start moving like someone who finally belongs to themselves. No more explanations, no more flinching, no more leaking energy to prove what's already true. You are the standard now. They'll feel it. And if they don't, that's not your problem anymore. Stay silent. Stay solid. Stay unreachable. Because from this moment forward, you don't rise to meet the world. You let the world rise to meet you.